Hello, good evening, and welcome. You've just entered the arena. I'm Michael Coren, and I hope the weekend was a glorious one for you. I spoke to, 4 different groups of people. Thank you to all of you. Just one brief comment about a man called Vito Saniti, who was my webmaster. He controlled my website, and he passed away a few days ago. Just want to give my condolences to the family. And, okay, we have a very full show coming up for you. A different type of monologue here. I'm looking forward to this one. Now, I like being attacked. I don't know, it's a perverse thing. I think I get it from Ezra, actually. But, because the attacks tend to be really rather fatuous, but they illustrate the nature of opposition. Now, I don't spend enough time on Facebook. I should respond to more people. Forgive me for that. But I was there the other day, and there was a comment, sort of a letter. Someone had posted on Facebook a response to me, and it was signed, James Ryan, Catholic teacher. Okay, and here's what the letter said, okay? Michael, I read your libelous column on the upcoming OECTA AGM. Just let me fill you in there. OECTA, Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association. Apparently my column and my monologue here were libelous. Clearly, you have a complete and total lack of any understanding of the democratic process. And given your extremist attitudes, I wish you would stop referring to yourself as a Catholic. Let me attempt to educate you. GSAs, that's gay straight alliances, are about stopping homophobia and bullying, period. By the way, the spelling errors and all the problems here, that's him, not us. Your hyperbole aside, Catholic GSAs would have no other purpose. As far as the Catholicity of OECTA members, while one can never made an assumption about 100% of any group, the vast majority of Catholic teachers I know are dedicated and faithful Catholics. Your extremist views on Catholicity need to be named, thank you, and do not reflect the opinions of the vast majority of Ontario Catholics. Now, aside from the fact that you teach, that's the way you write, that aside, hey, whatever. Where do I begin here? Look, I'll reread the monologue, and it was my son Colin that he's referring to in a few moments' time. But OECTA, Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association, is really very much an NDP organisation in many ways, and it has a right to be, but then don't call yourself Catholic and teachers. You're not really about being Catholic and being teachers. You're about social democratic policies. It's your right to be, but be brave, be tough. Do it in the public education sector, or, better still, go in the private sector and, stop taking public tax dollars. However, this fellow, I just thought, another silly letter to me, and then I thought, does this name ring a bell? So I went to his Facebook site, and the pictures of people he really likes and respects, well, juxtaposed next to each other are Jesus, which is good, and Tommy Douglas. Let's have a look at the picture of Jesus here. Let's put that up on the screen. There's a picture of Jesus on his Facebook site, and next to it is one of Tommy Douglas. Tommy Douglas. By the way, Tommy Douglas, who did, of course, believe communism was a good thing in Canada, and also that mentally handicapped people should be sterilized. But okay, these are the 2 people you revere. Now let's have a look at this picture of Mr. Ryan, the Catholic teacher, on his, the Facebook picture, the main picture. I love these photos. It's not of him teaching, I assume. Can I have the camera on me a moment? I'm going to do my union pose. They're always gesticulating, aren't they? However, the name seemed to ring a bell. Then I realized, I know who this guy is. He was the president, the guy in charge, the big boss of OECTA, the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association. And if you look at other photos on his Facebook site, there's him in California, in South Africa, in Spain, in Italy, in Britain. My God, it's pretty tough being a teacher. But then I remembered he'd been on Sun News. Can we see that clip now, please?
When you're on the phone for Tom, and you're making the 30-second pitch, what is it people are curious about? What seems to resonate with them as you make those calls?
Well, what I'm finding from voters is that, first of all, that Tom Mulcair is the name that they know. It doesn't matter whether I'm calling Alberta or British Columbia or Ontario or Newfoundland.
And blah, 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 doesn't matter. But look, NDP, I was going to say hack. Well, and on the Facebook site, dozens and dozens and dozens of references to Mulcair and the NDP. NDP, Union, okay, be that, but don't pretend to be someone who really cares about Roman Catholicism and educating young people to be good Roman Catholics, because that's not what this is about, is it? And just to really be fair, I thought I'd now reread the monologue, which is the column from The Sun that made you so very, very angry. So here we go. Oh, Sister O'Reilly, you'd be turning in your grave. Mind you, anyone with any intelligence or sense of decency would be performing a bit of a liturgical dance over this one. The Ontario Catholic English Teachers Association has issued its 2012 annual conference resolutions, and they make for sad, if unintentionally amusing reading. Seldom have I seen such a stew of self-importance, misplaced grandeur, and juvenile leftism. Now, some background first. In Ontario, as well as most of Canada, state-funded Catholic education is generally about as Catholic as an Orange Lodge meeting in East Belfast. Non-Catholics assume that eager little papists are indoctrinated into the Roman faith. If only this were the case. The vast majority of Catholic teachers, while often decent and dedicated, are non-practicing and even anti-church. They may be divorced, gay, they abort, use contraceptives, live together, never attend Mass, reject Catholic teaching, are indifferent or even hostile to the religion they are supposed to be part of. Now, there will doubtless be official letters and complaints, we just saw one, denying this, but I challenge anyone to spend time in Catholic schools and with Catholic teachers and draw a different conclusion. And believe me, I have done the work here. To the perhaps 20% of teachers who try to behave as Catholics, I salute you. To the rest, have the courage and the integrity to teach in a public school. It's why the entire campaign to promote homosexuality in Catholic schools has been so successful. Look, the minority of principals, teachers and trustees who defend Catholic moral teaching are attacked not just by leftist politicians, but by other staff and by the unions. At the forthcoming OECTA conference, there are various motions that, and I quote, endorse and encourage the formation of support groups in keeping with the philosophy and objectives of gay-straight alliances. And the claim is made that this is in keeping with the teaching of the Catholic bishops. That is a downright lie. These alliances affirm homosexual behavior and the gay lifestyle, while the bishops have been careful to distinguish between protection of children who might have same-sex attractions and the political and aggressive agenda of the so-called gay-straight alliances. Then we have the now obligatory resolutions condemning and calling for the boycott of Israel, which is particularly racist and repugnant in that 10,000 Syrians have recently been slaughtered by an Arab dictator, thousands of other Arabs killed by their leaders in various neighboring states. But Jews are far easier to isolate and attack. And the Jewish state is obviously of economic interest to Catholic teachers, isn't it? Probably during their months of vacation or their numerous sick days or when they're spending their startlingly generous pensions. Now, to round it all off, lefty writer Linda McQuaig and Canadian Labour President Ken Giorgetti are speaking at the conference. I wonder how many of your tax dollars Linda, and I like Linda, she's an old friend really, is getting for this particular gig. And in what way is she pertinent to the formation of young Roman Catholic children? OECTA comrades, look, you're not manual workers, you're not oppressed, you're not taken seriously. Hello, Mr. Ryan. You're lucky and pampered, and your churlish lack of gratitude and painfully selective political posturing, ludicrous. Maintain the Catholic system? Increasingly these days, genuine, real Roman Catholics, including this one, wonder why we bother. So, that was the monologue. Mr. Ryan, come on, prove to me that the vast majority of teachers in the Catholic system are Orthodox Roman Catholics. Prove to me that gay-straight alliances are really just about protecting the victims of bullying. Prove that to me. Now, I know you're busy, a lot of travelling to do, a lot of NDP work to do, but when you're not doing that, prove it to me. Right on, comrade.